everybody and welcome to Fab Hacks. I'm Rosemary, and in today's video I'm going to take these Dollar Tree foam pumpkins and turn them into these little cuties. Let's go ahead and jump right in. For the first several pumpkins, I'm going to be painting them with my favorite spackle paint. Now I'm going to just take regular craft paint. This one's in a navy blue and a pumpkin, and this one's in Wedgwood green and parchment. Now I'm going to just take pretty much equal parts of this Dollar Tree spackle and each of the paint colors, and I'm going to mix them together until it gets to be somewhat of this consistency. Then I'm going to begin painting my pumpkin, and this I will be doing 2 coats. So this first coat, I'm not so concerned about some of the orange that's going to be peeking through. I'm more interested in just getting a nice thin even coat. And I'm just going to continue around the whole pumpkin. Now you notice that these Dollar Tree foam pumpkins do have some gapping and some kind of parts that stick up there, especially around the top of the pumpkin. I'm going to just put some extra spackle paint in those sections to kind of smooth those over. And then I'll just let my first coat dry completely. And then once that's dry, I'll go ahead and add my second coat of paint, again just doing a nice thin even layer and paying a little special attention to where those gaps and ridges are. And then once my second coat is complete, I'm going to set that aside to dry and proceed to make a stem out of these corn husks. Now you can get these corn husks at the Hispanic food section. These are the husks that tamales are made with. And I'm going to just take 3 of the husks and hot glue them together and then twist them around till the glue is set, adding a little more where needed. And then I'm going to add a little color to the stem with some of this Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to kind of just dab it on, and I don't want to go too heavy. Just kind of take it easy and just go little by little to get the right color that I want. Then I'm going to just take some scissors and I'm going to poke a hole in the foam pumpkin so that I can insert my stem. But before I do that, I'm going to just take a little paint and touch up where I cut around the hole. And then here is the finished project. It is similar to this green pumpkin available at Pottery Barn for $13, and these are about the same size. You can do it a little bit different color and a little bit different shading and really get it to match. But since I was going for this color of green and I kind of just wanted it to be plain, I'm going to keep this one as is. For the next pumpkin, I'm again going to do the spackle paint, this time in the blue shade. And again, for that first coat, I'm not too concerned about that orange bleeding through. I just want to make sure I'm getting a nice, thin, even coat. Then after my first coat dries, I'll go ahead and add a second coat. If you have any kind of really goppy parts, you can go over this once it's dry with some sandpaper if you want to just smooth things out before adding that second coat. And then once that second coat is dry, I'm going to go ahead and add the stem. Now this time I am going to use a tree branch to do that, and I'm going to want to actually gild this one a little bit first. So I'm going to just take this piece of branch, and it does kind of look good like that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a little gilding with this gold leaf paint. Now, if you've never used this before, this stuff is pretty amazing. It goes on really easy, as you can see, and a little bit goes a long way. It gives some great coverage, and it leaves an excellent metallic finish. And you can get this paint at pretty much any of the craft stores. And then once that gold leafing was dry, I just went ahead and placed my stem back into the pumpkin with a little hot glue. And then to patch up the hole around the stem, I just took some of my spackle paint and used the label as a tool to just kind of get that paint into the hole and smooth it out all around the stem. And then here is the finished project, and you can really see how that spackle paint gives the pumpkin a really nice finish. And there's the Kirkland's inspiration piece up there in the corner for $7.99. For the next couple of pumpkins, I'm again going to be using this spackle paint mixture, again using pretty much equal parts of the Dollar Tree spackle and some craft paint. The color this time is called actually pumpkin. And I'm going to again just give the pumpkin 2 coats of paint, and I'm going to pay special attention to those kind of gaps and ridges. And then again for this pumpkin, I'm going to do a corn husk stem. And you can see here again how nice that paint leaves on the finish. And you can see an inspiration piece up there in the corner from Kirkland's. Now for a variation on this pumpkin, I'm going to take some of this gingham ribbon and just glue this into the little indents all the way around the pumpkin. And I'll just be using regular school glue to attach each of the strips. To create a bow, I took a strip of burlap ribbon, and then I just wanted to glue a piece of the gingham ribbon on top. Next, I just took some hot glue and created a little V shape with that ribbon, and then just attached that to the top of the pumpkin. Then I took 2 pieces of burlap that I had cut into a leaf shape and placed one behind the V and one in front of the V. And then here is the finished project, a little jazzed up version of the original orange pumpkin. And then for the next 2 pumpkins, we're going to go ahead and do a cream color paint, again with mixing it with the spackle. And I just wanted to take a second and show you that there is a difference if you just go ahead and paint them versus use the spackle paint. You can see where after just 1 coat, those are the differences between the spackle paint and just a regular paint. Now for my first cream colored pumpkin, I wanted to put the word grateful on that. And I had these puffy stickers that I got from Walmart, but they were in pink, so I just wanted to go ahead and paint them with some black chalk paint to get them in black. And then here's the finished project, complete with a gingham bow, a little silver leaf, and a corn husk stem as well. And you can see the Kirkland's inspiration in the upper left-hand corner. For my next cream colored pumpkin, I'm going to bling it up a little bit with some of these adhesive diamond wrap stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just cut them down into single strips. Then I'm going to take each strip and place it into the indents of the pumpkin all the way around. And then here's what it looks like once all of my strips have been placed. And then for the stem, I'm going to just take 2 of the stems from pumpkins that I had replaced the stems on, and I'm going to just glue these back to back. Then I'm going to go ahead and paint them with the cream colored spackle paint. And then I'm going to again take strips of the diamond wrap and just wrap the stem all the way around with the diamond strips. And then here is the finished project, all sparkly and pretty, ready to glam up your fall season. Well, if we're doing glam, let's do some animal print as well. And I'm going to do that by using this Dollar Tree pumpkin and then just covering it with these adorable little leggings that I got from Goodwill. Now this will also work with sweater sleeves and socks and all types of different things. As long as it's a little bit stretchy, it'll go around the pumpkin. Now for these leggings, I'm going to need to cut off at the top, even though there's kind of a seam in the middle, it'll be okay. The legs are just too small to fit the pumpkin. But of course, if you had an adult size legging or even a child size legging, this is actually infant size, you could go with the leg, it would work just fine. Now I also had to remove the little elastic strip in order to get the length that I needed. And then I just put the pumpkin right inside and began folding and hot gluing the corners into a hole I made in the bottom of the pumpkin. And I'm just kind of folding it around and then using some hot glue and then just securing it in place with the scissors. And I will continue that all the way around the pumpkin. And then once the bottom is completely secure, I will go ahead and flip the pumpkin over and repeat the process on the top side. And then for this pumpkin, I'm going to make another corn husk stem. And this time I'm going to paint it black, and then I'm going to just insert it there in the middle, kind of bend it and twist it over. And there we go. A cute little leopard pumpkin, and there is the Hobby Lobby inspiration up there in the left-hand corner. For the last pumpkin, I'm going to use one of the Dollar Tree pumpkins that I've already painted brown. And then I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, and I'm going to cut it into strips, and then just glue those strips all the way around the pumpkin. I'm going to be using my favorite Titebond glue, but regular school glue would work here as well. And just to make sure I have a nice even coat, I'm going to just go ahead and take a foam brush and just kind of give it a nice even thin coat of the glue all the way around. And then I'm going to cut strips of the ribbon about the width of each section of the pumpkin. And they do vary, so just make sure that you're cutting them to size. And then I'll just apply them to the sides of the pumpkin in the glue. And then this is what the pumpkin will look like once all the strips are applied. And then I'm going to take some of this Hobby Lobby braided fall ribbon, and I'm going to put that in all of the little indents. Glue that all the way around. This is what it will look like when it's finished. And then for this pumpkin, I'm going to use a piece of tree branch for the stem. And I'm going to just insert it right in there. Now I do want to bring that ribbon up a little bit and bring that color up. So I'm going to just kind of twist that around and glue that in place. And then for a finishing touch, I'm going to just add some fall leaves to the top. And I'm going to just actually cut these from larger leaves so that they're the right size, because the leaves that I had are way too large for this. So I'm going to just kind of cut pieces of those, and then also add a couple of acorns there to the top. And that should finish it off. And then here is the finished project, a cute little burlap pumpkin that will take you all the way through the fall season, all the way through Thanksgiving. Well, I hope you have enjoyed making these pumpkins along with me, and I hope it's inspired you to make some of your own pumpkins this fall season. Please let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite, and if you like the video, please don't forget to give a thumbs up, and please share with any family and friends you think would also enjoy this video. If you're not already a subscriber and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you join the family. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on FabTax. We're putting the extraordinary one DIY at a time.